Welcome back to the Generation Z podcast, or otherwise known as Gen Z Speaks podcast. I am here today with my usual co-host, Ibrahim Ahmed, and I, myself, Matt Gutierrez.
Remember when we used to first do the podcast, I used to say usual co-hosts?
Yeah, you did. Yep.
I'm with my usual co-hosts, the two bums, the three idiots.
That's usually how it goes. But not anymore, just two of us.
You want to dive right in?
I have a question before we dive in. Okay? How obsessed are you getting with the posts and the comments and the responding and all of that?
We, as we stand now,
Yeah.
as of 2024,
Yes.
are a relatively small podcast. Right? Comparatively, if you compare us to Joe Rogan, we're pretty small, right? If you compare us to the biggest podcast in the world,
Pretty much non-existent.
So, one of the challenges we have
Yeah.
is how do we maintain the people that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and how do we get more people to listen to us?
Right.
And to do that, we have to consistently respond to people that leave a comment, leave their feedback, and that means almost always the comments are negative, and I have to respond to them
Yes.
and deal with that. But it
Engage.
is part of the game.
But is it becoming entertaining for you?
Entertaining? No, because they keep responding back. I'm hoping like this will shut them up. Like, okay, I'm
Really?
hoping my killer response is gonna humble them. But
Uh-huh.
no, they just keep coming back with more shots. So I have to respond to that shots.
Yeah.
It's helping me understand arguments better. It's helping me prepare for law school better. Yeah.
No, but seriously, is this podcast becoming obsessive?
What do you mean? Like, to me?
Yeah.
Am I obsessed with our podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet. When do you
Obsessed
think-
with our podcast?
When do you think you'll be like obsessed with doing it, like the journey of it?
Interesting question. I do like doing the podcast. I think.
Have you fallen in love with this podcast?
I don't think I'm there yet. No.
You're not there yet.
Are you there?
I am.
You're in love with the podcast?
I love doing this.
No, but when did you fall in love with the podcast? Well, it has to be like during this season. We've done what, 22
Probably
episodes?
within the first 3-4 episodes.
After the first 3 or 4 episodes.
episodes,
Damn, that's
yeah.
all it took. 4 dates.
Well, you know what? When did we start? When we started each having our roles, that's when I really fell in love with it.
Mm.
Because right now like I told you, I'm putting quite a few hours a week with the clips and stuff, like clipping up and downloading, and I feel good doing it. I don't know why, but it just feels good. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. I don't know. It's better
Really?
than sitting there and scrolling, and yeah.
That's good. I'm happy for you, man.
You're not obsessed with posting?
No. No. I don't like doing it. It's because I have
Yeah,
to do
I
it
know.
every day.
I know.
It takes my, like...
Posting is something different, bro. It's the easiest thing, but for some reason it takes like the most energy to do.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm obsessed with the podcast yet.
Hopefully
No.
we get there.
Hopefully. But it's very hard to be obsessed about things, bro. You're saying you're obsessed. No wonder you made me do another one. We just did a podcast before this. This is
Yeah.
back to back.
Back to back.
I'm like, okay.
No, dude, I love it. I'm not gonna say I'm obsessed, but I am in love. I love doing this. I don't want to ever stop, and I hope the 3-man band that turned into a 2-man band doesn't turn into a 1-man show. That's what I really hope.
You think you think I might leave?
I hope not.
You think though? You think I might?
No, I don't think so. But I'm just saying I didn't think Janice was gonna leave.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, are you obsessed with talking?
I love myself. I'm obsessed
Are you obsessed
with
with
myself.
hearing your? You know what it is? It's you get a kick out of listening to your.
You know what I
voice.
like a lot, bro? When I'm looking at you, I can see the reflection of myself in your eyes.
Yeah, he's just a narcissist.
That's self-obsessed.
I don't. Yeah. Do you think Joe is obsessed with podcasting?
So I recently listened to a podcast with him. I think with Jack Carr, and he was talking about how when there's like weeks where he has to go like on vacation with his family and he has to run like 5 or 6 pods that week, he says what it does, it gets his energy down and the love for the show starts to dissipate. So he likes to do 2, 3 because his energy is still there, his love for the show is still there, and he's still able to have that for the audience, because audience can tell, right? Like whether somebody's in it or not in it. So yeah.
Am I in it, audience, right now?
No. You seem very slumber.
Slumber?
Slumber.
If we get to a position one day where we have 1,000 episodes,
Yes.
we'll do a compilation of how many weird words you use that not many 23-year-olds are using. Bob and weave. Even in the last podcast, bob and weave. Then you used something else where I didn't want to say it because it just becomes a whole thing. But you said some other word, and I was like, huh? Even Pat was like, what do you mean?
Really?
You said one word where he was like, what are you saying?
No, I just articulated poorly.
No, you said a
uh-huh.
word, though.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
But
Well, for today, what is something you are afraid you're never going to experience again?
start us off.
No, you, my friend.
What is something I am afraid of that I'll never experience again?
Correct.
Well, for one, I know I'll never experience it again, my childhood, because it's gone. I can't.
But that's not like an experience. That's a compilation of experiences.
But technically, your question, if we really dive into it, is technically I can't experience it because that experience was a different thing in and of itself.
Okay, let's do 2 questions then. Okay, holistic approach, like a maybe a time period, and then a single experience.
Time period of my life
Yes.
that I wish I could get back. You know, to me, there's always challenges and setbacks in life.
Yeah.
But when I was living in Pakistan, my family had a hard time. But those years 9 to 12 were some of the most beautiful years of my life.
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Why?
Man. Well, Pakistan won the World Cup, the T20 World Cup in 2009. I'll never forget the moment they won.
That's one of the experiences that you wish you could relive.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the only other time we won a World Cup is 1992, and I wasn't even.
It means that much to you guys.
Well,
to you, sorry.
No, to me, that's the start of that era for me.
Oh,
like my
this was
9 to
your
12 year
Gotcha.
age era starts with us
I
winning the
see.
World Cup, right?
Okay.
2009. I was actually 8 at the time. I turned 9 in October, but it was the summer, I believe, of 2009.
Okay.
And I was obsessed with cricket, and I was like, this is gonna be me, God willing, one day carrying the trophy for my country. That was my dream. That was my vision.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, bro, when I was 9 years old, I never went on Google, internet, nothing. My only form of media was television, watching cricket, and that's it.
Wow.
And playing like these stupid PC games, but that I played like once every 4 months.
Really?
So I had no social media, nothing.
YouTube.
No YouTube, nothing. The only media I had was television. And they were time-slotted shows. So I couldn't even, like, watch the show I wanted. I had to wait every Thursday for the show I used to watch, I remember.
Yeah. That's a normal experience. I remember that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no YouTube. That's a big thing. No Game Boy video games. Yeah.
My parents gave me like a really tough time with the Game Boy. I got one eventually.
Oh, you did?
And then, like, I played it, and then, no, I never fell in love with it.
You never fell in love with the Game Boy?
Yeah. I played Xbox here and there. My
did?
uncle had brought it for us, but it was never a big part of my life.
Video games was never big?
No.
Okay. I have similar experiences. Video games never really appealed to me. I was more with movies and, like, not really even TV shows, just a lot of movies for some reason. And YouTube I would watch with my friends. That was a big thing. But my experience is a little bit different than yours from 0 to 12.
9 to 12.
Well, I'm just saying in general, 0 to 12, because you grew up in Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
And I grew up in
exactly.
LA.
12
0
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Time period, relive again. I'd probably relive, I think, 15 to 18, around there.
15 to 18.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
15 to 18. I feel like I was going through a lot when I was 14 to 15. I was going through a lot, just like in life, just like at home. And I think looking back, I think there were pivotal points that I got to experience that at the time I was a kid, so I didn't really understand that these were pivotal points in my character and personality.
Mm-hmm.
Just to relive that again, because I think it's a big part of what shaped me to me. I believe that after those pivotal points, I got to experience a different part of life. I got to experience more freedom. I got to drive, right? And driving, man, that set me up for like happiness, dude. Driving, man. When I got my license, and I
Yeah.
got my truck.
Really?
Oh man, dude. You got to understand, like, I mean, I don't know how your parents were, but not even my parents, but I guess this is how I was. I never like hung out with friends outside of school at all ever. So it was just like school, go home, watch movies, do homework, and then hang with my cousins. My cousins would come over, and that's who I would hang out with out of school. But then like just like all kids, you're just you're a victim to where your parents are taking you, right? You're going to the mall because your parents want to go to the mall, or you're going to go to such and such, you know what I'm saying? But when I had a car, I can go to the beach whenever I want. I can go hiking, I can go eat, I can take my friends places, and like we got to experience different things. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then and then college, I think from 17 to 18, going from high school to college, that was another pivotal point.
You being the person you are right now,
Yeah.
Matt Gutierrez, 23 years of age. What era would you take your present self back to? 15 to 18? Is that the era you would want to go back and live as your present self?
As my present self?
Yes, that's a different question.
Different question.
Yeah.
Probably 16 to 20.
Okay,
One
so-
year after.
So 16 to 20.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
16, I got my license, so I get to. I don't have to deal with the hardship, right?
Mhm.
So the hardship built me. Now I'm past that, so now I'm able to drive, and so present self would probably do 16 to 20. Yeah. Yeah. Just different experiences I experienced when I was like, I guess I'm saying driving as if it's like this thing, but it is to me. Like when I got to drive, that was like I am Matt now. Now I'm not an extension of like my mom and dad because they trusted me. They always trusted me. It wouldn't, as long as I told them where I'm at, it didn't matter if I got home at 11 or midnight or 1 or whatever, because I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. I don't do anything crazy. I don't steal. No knucklehead friends at all. So, except you. Except you.
I was gonna say.
Nah, but even at the time, I mean, you weren't a knucklehead at all.
Yeah.
So it's like none of us were.
Times.
Yeah. Well, no, bro. Come on. I'm saying
Yeah.
comparatively to an actual knucklehead. And so like getting to experience life in my perspective now with people I had in my life at the time, that'd be very interesting.
I would do 14 to 17.
14 to 7.
As
So
my
high school.
present self, I'd go back in high school as me.
Yeah.
That'd be so interesting.
The entirety of high school.
Physically, everything, you know.
Physically, why physically?
Because I was a short kid, bro, in high school. Like freshman year of high school.
You were my height, but we were the same height freshman year.
Were we? Yeah. Well, remove
then
that.
This guy decided to start stretching and became much taller.
Well, I think I just played basketball and drank milk. But regardless,
Yeah.
yeah, not just the height thing. I just think like physically, you know, like my teeth, bro. I don't know if you realize my teeth.
Yeah, really straight right now. Yeah.
Yeah, my teeth got like. I don't.
Was
mean
that
to-
insecurity?
Yeah, because I don't mean to sound off as like looks or everything,
Mhm.
but to me, like when I was in high school, bro, my smile was a very big insecurity for me because my teeth. I got when I was living in Pakistan,
Yeah.
my parents put braces on me,
Okay.
but they just started treatment, right? So when you start braces, sometimes they
Mhm.
only do a certain part of your teeth.
Oh.
So they only did the front teeth for me.
Okay.
And so when I came to America, I still
Yeah.
had the braces on, but the doctor was gone. And having a dentist is very hard.
Oh.
You know, like getting braces removed is a
Yeah.
whole thing.
Right.
Especially
Right.
because
Right.
I got it done in a foreign country. So
yeah.
I had to wait a lot of time to get the braces out. And the wire had fallen out. So like my teeth, I think, got
Oh.
more messed up because of that.
It was lack of upkeep.
Well, just, yeah, because like
Yeah, 'cause I get
was
it.
Just, yeah. And then it just, I don't know, bro. I think a smile gives a person confidence.
It does.
Like, you know, it's like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
can laugh. Because if you don't like your smile,
Yeah.
it really lowers your confidence. Because you can't have joy in your life, bro. You can't smile widely because you're
Interesting.
afraid of what people will look at you
Yeah.
and be like, oh, whoa, I don't like the
Wow.
smile. So
Okay.
I had that insecurity for sure in high school. And I'm not saying that would change everything.
No, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fine with my high school experience, but I don't know. I would just like to relive those years as the present
the
version
person
that
you
I
are.
am now.
Okay. You think you're funnier, more confident,
Yeah,
more
I'm
lively, playful?
and I think I was at that time too, but obviously I just think I'm more comfortable in my own skin. Like I've matured.
Mm.
But is it a good idea to go back to
Right.
being a mature 14-year-old? I don't know.
Are you as mature?
I think so. I think I've matured. Obviously, I have a long way to go. My prefrontal cortex is
Yeah.
not developed yet. Neither has yours. We're not 25
True.
yet. My parents remind me that of all the time. But
Really? They remind you of that?
yeah, they're like, you're prefrontal. My mom does primarily. She makes fun of me. But
I think from a playful point of view, you were more mature back then. I think you're more immature now, which is good. Yeah. Because like yeah, I remember you, bro. You were more serious back then too. It was a different part of your life, right? You were coming to America and those hardships, I understand. And so you had to develop that.
But the thing is, at
Mhm.
home though, I was a different person.
How were you at home?
I was always like
Goofy?
goofy. Like
So why at school then?
Well, because I think I was afraid to show my true personality.
Interesting.
Because I wasn't comfortable, right? It didn't, like I said before
Yeah.
in a previous podcast, like being your public self
Yeah.
takes confidence, right? Like
Mhm.
just acting like you do at home
Yeah.
and doing the exact same thing
Yes.
outside. It's hard to do
That's
because you're
true.
like, whoa, hold on a second. My parents, they know me. They have
Yeah.
dealt with me. My sisters, they know me.
Right.
But is my new friend gonna really appreciate this side of my personality? I don't know.
But even as we became friends, I think more recently you're more goofy than even like
Well, yeah,
2-3 years into our relationship as friends.
yeah. I think it's taken a long time to get to
Wow.
that place. But yeah, no, stand up has definitely made me. That's all stand up. Yeah, but
No, I think even I think while you're in college, I think a lot of that developed.
yeah,
From outsider in at least.
yeah. But I think yeah,
You think stand up more than anything.
stand up more than anything, for sure.
One thing about the smile, I never smiled with my teeth up until I was 16.
Why is that?
I don't
You
know.
had great teeth.
I don't know why.
Really?
Well, yeah, from like I stopped smiling with my teeth just tracking pictures when I was like 7. Like 7, 8, something like that.
Huh.
And then I started again when I was 16. And somebody told me something about my teeth. They're like, "You have an extremely nice smile. Why don't you smile with your teeth?" And I was
Aw,
like,
that's nice.
"Yeah." I was like, "I don't know."
Who said that?
I don't want to talk about who, but
Okay, yeah.
so I would
Fine, yeah.
I would smile like whatever, but that was just natural. And so when I started smiling with my teeth, I felt super uncomfortable when I first started smiling with my teeth. I was like, I didn't physically know how to do it. They said it because they would see my smile, like laughing and like smile when I'm happy, whatever, right? And then you start, I don't know, and I think that definitely helped confidence in me too. Maybe it was a confidence thing, or like there was obviously something going on that I stopped, right? It doesn't make sense why a kid 7 years old would stop smiling with their teeth and they would go to, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, but
It's
yeah.
subconscious, I think.
Yeah, there was something going on. Not sure
Yeah.
what, but
That's so interesting.
yeah, it's a
bro.
trip, huh?
That one comment just flipped the switch for you.
Yeah. My mom would tell me all the time, smile with your teeth, and I wouldn't do it. I would not do it.
Because I think a lot of times when parents give you compliments,
Mhm.
you're like, oh, they're just my parents.
Right.
But when somebody who's not related to you,
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really know you, says
Right.
something to you, and you respect their opinion, you're like, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Maybe there's something there.
But the person who literally gave you birth has been telling you that all along.
Crazy.
Why don't you just listen to them?
There you go.
Shut up and listen to your
Parents,
parents.
yes,
Episode
sir.
what?
Don't remember, but a few
Yeah,
episodes ago.
good title.
Yeah. Shut up and listen to your parents. Yeah, I think, and now I always smile with my teeth. Like even when I'm just like talk, like when somebody's talking, I'll just be like, you know what I mean? It's a trip.
Kids would also bully me. Like not bully
Because
me.
your teeth?
Yeah, like tease me, bully me. Like they'd be like, "Oh, you have like," because I had a very gummy smile,
Oh, okay.
and my gums like purple, so they would like make fun of the skin color of the gum.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that.
In Pakistan?
distinctly. Well, yeah,
Even here?
even here, yeah.
What would
yeah,
they would
yeah.
say that
They
at
would
Ross?
say that. No, not. I'm just talking about overall. I don't want to say who, but just
Okay.
like general kids
Wow.
would say that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you reply?
What can I say, bro?
What would you say?
I was like, they're not black. They would say like they have black gums, and I was like, no, they're actually purple. And
You would say
why are
that.
you like saying?
Yeah.
Why are
talking
you
crap.
commenting on the skin? I mean, I wouldn't. What can you say? You can't really say much in that
Yeah.
position, right? If somebody's if you're being constantly, if like four guys are making fun of you
Yeah.
with the way your gums are and the way you smile,
Yeah.
a kid, what are they gonna say?
No,
They'll
I
just
get
take
it. I
in.
get it. Yeah. I'm just curious
Deviate,
what
I
you
would
did.
change the subject. I'd just be
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, I get it. We get it.
Yeah.
This is the way it is.
Now we understand it's because they're probably insecure about something.
No, my teeth were pretty bad. Like
No,
looking
but
back.
there.
But you
there's-
shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I would never talk
Yeah,
shit about.
yeah, you should not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. Yeah. But looking back though, man,
Yeah.
I really want to thank my orthodontist, bro, Dr. Cho.
Yeah.
He fixed my teeth in 11 months.
I know, bro. Fast.
Fast, bro.
Yeah.
And he did it. I actually shout out to my dad.
Uh-huh.
Because originally my orthodontist wanted me to remove my teeth because they were so crowded. And my dad was like, no, don't do that.
Really?
like,
They want
why?
to remove some teeth.
Yeah, because it was so crowded. My
Okay.
bottom teeth, I don't know if you remember, were very crowded.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, no, don't do it. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, don't remove anything. And the doctor was like, okay, we'll make it work. And he
Yeah.
made it work. So it was a combination of
Wow.
my dad and Dr.
That's a
Cho,
good
but
decision.
yeah,
Fathers.
he made it work, man.
Yeah.
The dentist, orthodontist, Dr. Cho.
Wow.
All my family has gone to him. My mom,
To the orthodontist?
yeah, my sister, my youngest sister, 4 of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's a genetic thing?
Genetic thing
Yeah, the
going to
teeth-
his.
Well, no, the teeth.
Not genetic, because my mom had a fine smile. We just wanted more straight teeth.
Oh, just straighter.
You know? Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a genetic thing. Is it? Maybe.
I think
don't
so. Just like
think-
sight.
Hmm?
Like sight.
eyesight.
Yeah.
Are teeth genetic?
Straighten it.
Well, in my
think it's
instance, it was the
jaw.
braces, because my teeth were clearly the worst out of my family initially,
Okay.
because the braces were there and they were gone. Like I had 4.
Oh,
Imagine having the top 4 of your teeth
Yeah.
with braces,
Just the top 4 teeth?
because they started treatment, right? They just started treatment in Pakistan. And then I
Interesting.
moved here, and then yeah, I
Oh.
don't know what they were trying to do. It was 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
But things have changed.
Dang, that's a trip. Wow. That's a good one. Okay, how about experience? What specific experience would you want to relive? That you're afraid you can't relive, sorry.
Experience that I'm afraid I can't relive
You're
again.
afraid you can't relive again.
You know,
Destination,
yeah.
experience, action.
Experience, bro. I'm really thinking on this
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I want to give you a genuine response.
Right.
An experience I wish, but the thing, I'm a very hopeful and optimistic guy. So
That's
I think
fine.
I'm gonna have these experiences again, but I'm
I believe you
afraid
will,
I'm not
yeah.
going to.
There's something on your mind.
Why don't you start?
Okay.
See, it's a deep
It is
question.
tough. No, I mean, I don't know if this is the most, but this is probably one of them. I literally won't be able to experience it again, but traveling on my own. I think that was one of them it was a different
You
experience.
did it? When?
On my own. Like, without my parents. Sorry, without, like, adult supervision with Janish when we went to Thailand.
That you're afraid you can't do again.
Like, I'll never do that again. I'll never go out 18 years old with another 18-year-old bum and experiencing backpacking.
yeah, but
outside
that's a
the
different
world.
question.
Okay.
Because obviously, remember we already addressed that. There was 2 layers to the question.
Okay,
Because we've
okay.
already addressed,
Yeah.
we're never going to be the same age. Technically, this
Yeah.
question doesn't apply. Because technically, every experience has passed. You can't
By
really relive.
age.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
in terms of the way you felt, your emotional self, right?
Yeah.
Like that feeling, that experience that you're like, can I really? Does it get better than this?
Does it get better than this?
That's what I'm interpreting
yeah.
from your question.
Wow. That's a lot tougher.
That's how I was thinking of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
question. Otherwise, I would have given you a million answers.
That's a lot tougher. Does it get better than this? I think when I felt maybe on top of the world,
yeah.
right? When I felt on top of the
On
world.
top of the, not necessarily on top of the world, man. I'm just talking about a specific experience that made you feel a certain way, and you were like,
Okay, describe how it would make me feel.
you'd just be
Like butterflies or
you know, I think everybody has a moment in their life
yeah.
where they feel just right. Like at this point in time,
Yeah.
I feel like I have what I have
Mhm.
and I'm happy. And you're just overjoyed. Like you're just like, how come I get to have this? You're almost like, God, like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But why me? Like, how have you given me this beautiful blessing?
Yeah.
The way I feel in this moment right now, like, oh my God, will I be able to relive this again, God?
Mm,
I pray to you that I can, God willing, but
yeah.
thank you for whatever it is that you gave me. That experience.
There are experiences like that.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude? There's some experiences like that that aren't even like core memories. They just happen. Do you ever feel like you're just walking inside your home and you just feel like this weird rush through your body
Sure.
and you're just like I love like you're not thinking this but you feel like I just love life right now.
Absolutely.
Like I remember specifically I was walking from my bedroom to the garage or something and I was in the living room and I just kept walking but I felt like this rush. Like I feel this a few times but in one experience I felt this rush through my body and this was like probably in college and I don't know what it was. Maybe I was thinking about I remember my uncle Danny one time told me I was in college. No, I think I was a senior in high school actually. He was like, "Man, Matt," he was like, "you got the cool truck, dude. You got a good head on your shoulders. You got a good girlfriend. Man, dude, does it get better than that?" He said something like that. And
Wow.
so I was thinking about it. I was like, "Wow, life is pretty damn good." And then I think the following day I went on a hike and I just was like, life is I think that's when I started maybe that comment pivoted my thinking or something, but that I started I started thinking about it more like life is beautiful. I mean, it's what you make of it, but life is just beautiful. Sometimes you feel on top of the world, sometimes you're in the valley. But even when you're in the valley, you should be fortunate that you're even there, right? Because your valley is probably somebody's mountaintop, right?
Say that again, man. No, that's a good saying.
Yeah. I mean,
Your valley.
yeah, sometimes in life, man, you go through valleys and then you're on mountaintops, right? But sometimes your valley is another person's mountaintop. So
Mhm.
you should appreciate and put the world in perspective.
That's so important, man.
Yeah.
I have mine, but you finish yours.
Yeah. Another I mean that I won't be able to experience again. I think another thing, bro, oh man. I don't know how often this happens in your family, but my family on both sides, mom and dad, family doesn't get along and there will be years of not talking
Of course.
and solitude and like we do our thing, they do their thing. But those moments when we're all together and the past has happened, but we're just laughing at something that we experienced when we were kids or like when we're all together another time. Oh, that just feels like this is what it's about. This is what family's about. This is what life's about. You get to experience these things, and then you can go back and talk about it and laugh, and it's just as funny today as it was years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is beautiful. My first time, there's two that stand out to me. Well, actually three.
Mm.
I think the first time I came to America,
Mm.
like I landed at LAX,
Okay.
and that feeling of being in a different country, like, because I thought I was so paranoid when we were leaving from Pakistan that I was like, they might get us at the airport. They might like stop my flight. They
Yeah.
might do this. What if this happens? That happens. But when we first landed, we made it to America. I saw my grandparents I saw my
Yeah.
grandfather for the first time in my life.
Wow.
12 years, I'd never seen this man ever. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like, damn, this is it. Because
Yeah.
as a kid, my whole dream was to leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was because
Leave Pakistan.
we come from somebody's new listening in, my community is persecuted in Pakistan. We're called Ahmadi Muslims, and like, we can't be ourselves. We can't go to the mosque. We don't have certain rights. We can't vote under the constitution.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to just be ourselves, and we couldn't under the constitution of that country. So my dream growing up was just leaving, because that's who I get to be.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I came to America, I think that was the first time where I was like, wow, like this happened. My dream
Yeah. Came true.
which I never thought it would, because it's impossible to leave and get
Yeah.
a visa. It's very hard.
Did you feel alleviated?
Like a burden was lifted off?
Yeah.
In a way, yes and no, because my dad wasn't able to come with us. My dad was still back, so I was
Okay.
still a little worried.
That he wasn't gonna come.
Well, yeah, he wasn't going to be able to be with us for that time.
What was your thought? Like, maybe not yours, but like as a family, maybe you didn't know about it at the time, but now thinking back, I don't know if you guys talk about it, but if he wasn't able to, you guys were here, but he wouldn't be able to come at all.
I
Have
don't
you guys
know.
talked about that or no?
No, we never thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was something of an unsaid thing that we just didn't talk about. It was a
'Cause it's
possibility
scary.
we each knew, but we didn't talk about it. So I don't
Mm.
remember it ever being a subject of
Interesting.
conversation necessarily.
What kind of questions were you asking your parents when they were like, "Hey, we're going to America"?
Well, it wasn't questions because it was a process, right? You apply, then
Mhm.
you get called for an interview.
Yeah.
Even the way we got the visa to America was a miracle, bro. It's a every single thing that happened was just a miracle. But like I was aware of everything that happened, so I wasn't like
No, but like your parents, like they sat you guys down or however it was, and they're like, "Hey, we're getting
no,
an opportunity."
that never happened.
Never happened.
They never sat us down.
So-
I always heard like we would always talk,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was always aware of what was happening.
So they're just like, "Yeah, right now we're in the process."
Well, the thing how it works is to get a visa, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how it is now, but 11 years ago, to get a visa to America,
Mhm.
you have to apply, and then you go to Islamabad for an interview. So we went.
Islamabad.
That's the capital of Pakistan. So we all went
Yeah.
to Islamabad,
Okay.
where they interviewed me, my mom, my two sisters for a visa,
Yeah.
and then. By the way, and in that interview,
Yeah.
that guy has the power to accept or deny your visa in front of you. So if those 5 to 10 minutes go off, you say something wrong, something happens, the guy can be like, no, try again a couple years later.
Wow.
So I distinctly remember that day, bro, in Islamabad in 2012, where we went.
Yeah.
I prayed on the bus. I was like, we all prayed. I just kept praying. And we went to the interviewer. He asked my mom questions. I always remember it was this white guy. And
Yeah.
he was a good guy, and he would my mom would talk, and I would just listen. He's asking her questions. We've already prepared for these questions that might come up. And then at the end of it, he said, okay, we'll give you, he asked for our passports,
Yeah.
which means our visa got approved, and we
Wow.
got a 5-year visa, and yeah.
Did he ask you any questions personally or no?
I don't remember.
You don't remember that. Did you?
No, my mom. I remember that day.
What question do you remember him asking her?
He asked, "Why do you want to go to America?" To my mom.
What did your mom say?
Well, to see our grandfather, because he was
Okay.
sick,
Yeah.
and that was one of the reasons why. And yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I won't forget that day, bro.
It's
Taking the
intense,
bus.
bro.
Yeah, because that guy had our future, bro. I was so. My mom, by the way,
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll appreciate me saying this, but my mom the night before
Yeah.
was crying. She's like, they're never gonna give us a visa. And my dad was like, no, have hope. Have hope. I feel like it's gonna happen. My dad was comforting my mom, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, and I was pissed off at my dad. I was like, how are you being so hopeful? Like, there's no way we're gonna get this. Like, ain't no way. Like,
Really?
I used to always tell my dad, there's no way we're going, bro. Like, it's not happening. I used to be very cynical when I was a kid.
Okay.
And my dad was always optimistic. He was like, nope, it's happening. One day you'll get to do this, that, and that. And I was like, what is this guy saying? What is
Really?
he saying? I used to get pissed at him. I was like, what are you saying, Dad? How? Stop saying all this. But he would always be the most optimistic person. And then when it happened, yeah, it was shock. It was a shock because it was very hard to get it. But yeah,
Were your sisters as cynical? I know they're
my
younger.
sisters were very younger.
Very
bro.
young?
So
Well, Emma was 10.
no. She was when we got 11. Yeah, 7 and 9. So they're not
too young. Yeah. Wow, bro, that's intense.
Yeah.
That night before, you guys are you're probably kind of looking at your parents. They're having the conversation, and
I think I was sick that day. I had a
Mm.
fever. I remember having a fever. Actually, I was sick. Yeah.
wow.
But that moment, going back to your question,
Yeah.
experience, I just felt. I remember going from LAX and driving on the freeway because I'd never
Yeah.
been that was my first time on a flight, by the way, ever, on an airplane.
Yeah.
We had a layover in Dubai, and then we went back to LA.
How long was a bus ride from? You were from Karachi
No, Lahore.
or Lahore? From Lahore to Islamabad.
I don't remember. It was 3 hours. I think.
3 hours.
2 or 3
Longest 3
hours.
hours of your life, huh?
I think we took a car. Yes, I don't remember. Yeah, bus probably. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, bro. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, we stayed at our families, but it stayed overnight in Islamabad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're buddies. I'm glad we're on a
There you
podcast.
go. What are the odds?
What are
We're
the
going to
odds, bro?
Cerritos from Pakistan.
Dang, dude.
I didn't even know what LA was, bro, when
Yeah.
I came. I didn't know what this was. From the mountaintop, bro, when I was in the airplane, I was looking outside. It was desert, right? It was mountains.
Yeah.
But I was like, where are we going? This small remote village in America? I didn't know it was Los Angeles,
Yeah.
Hollywood, the biggest city in America, one of the biggest cities.
Where did you imagine going to in the United States? LA or just like America was
Something
America?
New York. I always
thought
heard
New
New
York?
York. I saw
Okay.
New York in movies, tall
Yeah.
buildings, you know. I always thought of that.
And then you got here and you're like,
Lots of white people, you know, like I was like, oh, this is probably what's going to be.
and you
Like,
got to Cerritos and you realized not lots of white people here.
no white people.
No white people. Dang, dude. Those intense moments, man, in life, it makes you appreciate the times that aren't so intense, right? Like, oh man, I can imagine, dude. Like you're on even that flight, you're even freaking out. Like, what if something happens once we land? They make us go back,
Yeah.
right? And then you get to your grandparents' house and you're like eating a samosa, probably with some
No,
chutney.
the first thing I did, I went to a CVS with my uncle to get something.
What did you get?
I don't remember. My uncle wanted something, but I went to the CVS near Cerritos, you know,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
South Street.
On Artesia? In Artesia?
No, this is the CVS near Lakewood, actually. You know that? So
Mhm.
that South Street signal, the one that has a photo on it. If you
Yeah.
So now you're next to Liberty Park. There's a CVS.
Okay.
I remember going to that, driving in his Corolla,
Yeah.
and I was like, "You have a Corolla?" Because that Corolla in Lahore was like, "You were hot shit."
oh, really?
Like a Toyota Corolla was like, "You are rich, bro," and I was like, "Damn, uncle, you rich." But then I was like, "No, everybody here has a
That's cool.
Corolla."
So
Yeah.
when you saw your first, like, I don't know, Ferrari or Lambo, what were you thinking? Like,
Because for me,
mm.
bro, growing up in Pakistan, my Ferrari was a Corolla.
Right. So,
That
but
was
that
it.
was like,
I didn't even like. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
shouldn't-
oh. I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, it's like a nice car, but to me,
Gotcha,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
when it's like
I see
Corolla
what
was
you're
like,
saying.
whoa, like
Wow.
wow, you got a Corolla. Yeah,
that's
man.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I'll never forget. That was one of the most beautiful days, bro.
That first day, huh?
Eating the cookies that you guys have in America, just like being like, whoa, is it real?
Yeah.
Like, am I here? Is this
Dang.
happening? Like, I had to pinch myself and like really register it in.
See, bro, and this is one of my biggest things. Someone always has it worse. It doesn't matter if it's in the U.S. or in Pakistan. Somebody's got it worse. And like this is something I've seen a post on this actually, and somebody that was the point of the clip basically, right? Someone's got it worse, so appreciate what you have. And people in the comments, almost everybody, bro, they're like, I hate how people can't respect the hardships other people have. Like we still, even though I have food on my plate, they literally said something like this. Even though I can afford to eat, doesn't mean I don't have hardships. Everyone has different hardships. Valid. Everyone has different hardships and people experience different things. Some people don't experience starving, right? For a couple days. Not saying that you did. I'm saying in general. A lot of people don't experience starving for a couple days or whatever like other people do in South America and Africa and Asia, right? Even people in America. And so they don't have that frame of thought that this is what true hardship is, right? And if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, in the U.S., none of us are experienced, not saying none of us, but majority of us don't ever get to experience not being able to eat, have shelter, have even family that doesn't love them. Like these are all things that happen a lot of times, like 9 times out of 10, right? And those experiences where it's like, man, well, somebody called me fat or whatever, that's like things of self-esteem, right? That's the second to the top. And then self-actualization, like my boss fired me, what can I do? You got lots of opportunity here. You have a college degree, you've got a brain, you got lots of things in this life. Be blessed, feel blessed. And I think, in my opinion, man, if people were able to be maybe have more empathy, if people were able to have more empathy and just sit there and think about other people in this world, not in your life, but other people in this world, and put yourself in their shoes, like, what are you going to do if you weren't able to eat? What are you going to do? Cry about it? They're not crying. They're trying to figure it out. So I think if people had more empathy and were able to sit and think about their life truly and others, and then able to compare, people would be so much happier. People would be so much more humble, so much more grateful. I think we would have a lot more peaceful of a world.
Something in America, though, that we take for granted a lot of times
Yeah.
is electricity.
Electricity.
Do you know how many countries in the world don't have any electricity? I'm from Pakistan, bro, and
Yeah.
for 12 hours a day, there's no
Yeah.
electricity. Sometimes even more. It's called load shedding. They haven't
Load
figured out a
shedding.
solution to this. So in
They
the
still haven't.
summers, in the summers, I'm pretty sure in the summers, bro, it's so hot and you can't turn the AC on. You can't turn.
So when can you turn electricity on? Usually at nighttime.
No, it's random. That's the whole thing.
Random.
It's not even allotted. Random times where you'll be watching your favorite show, right? This is 2012,
Yes.
and the electricity goes out. Gone. Imagine like the
What
finale
were you
happening.
thinking?
I used to be pissed out of my mind, bro. I used to curse at the TV. I used to go wild. Imagine, bro.
Wow.
Sleeping at night with mosquito, like, because in Lahore there's a lot of mosquitoes.
Okay.
But like, you have to open the windows, right?
Yeah.
But when you open the windows, mosquitoes
Just
come
in, yeah.
right? So like,
You have to suffer.
you have to suffer.
Eat one way or the other.
Sometimes people go on the rooftop, and it's called a charbai.
Uh-huh.
A charbai means like it's like an outdoor bed type of thing, and they just lay there
Wow.
they have to be there. It's so hot.
And they would just get stung by mosquitoes all night.
Yeah, but that's the struggle that a lot of people in America don't even like. What, electricity? Yeah, duh, that's a given. I get whatever I want whenever I want.
Insane.
That's the mentality. So when I came to America, that was one of the biggest blessings. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I can turn this light on whenever I want to, for as many times as I need to, and I never have to worry that it goes out. What a beautiful blessing that nobody in America truly appreciates, because that's all we know.
Yeah.
Not nobody, but I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah. No, electricity is like probably part of that foundation, right? That's how we cook. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, but there's gas stoves, right, as well. There's gas stoves. So that's what we had in Pakistan,
Gas
because
stoves.
we can't rely on
But
electricity.
no, like microwaves, right?
You can't microwave something. Yeah,
Yeah,
if the electricity is gone.
Yeah.
It's random though. That's
Bro,
the
do you think
problem.
microwaves are more used or gas stoves? Probably microwaves in America.
In America? Oh,
yeah, TV dinners,
Yeah.
frozen chimichangas. Yeah, man. Wow, dude.
What is that one feeling though, that you think you're afraid you might never get again? Is there a feeling you have? It doesn't have to be a specific type, but because that for me was like me walking into a new world.
Yeah.
And I think I can have that if I go to a different country, because I have felt that feeling before, where I was like, wow, like what a beautiful place, because that's what it felt like to me.
I don't think it'll ever be the same for you.
Well, there's different
You're
layers
free.
and types.
You're free right now, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will never be free again.
Well, the thing is, sometimes, so what I escaped was outside persecution, right?
Yeah.
My community was persecuted. But now, sometimes in America, because people have self-created problems, it's internal oppression.
Right.
So when a person is freed internally, they might be able to feel the same way. And at times, everybody does feel oppressed internally. You oppress yourself.
Yeah.
And when you free yourself
not
from
the
that
same.
feeling, it's not the same, but
it's a choice.
Similar.
Internal
similar-
self-oppression is a choice. External is not a choice.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't have a choice. They were going to persecute you whether you liked it or not.
That's true.
You have a choice. My opinion. You have a choice to be sad about your circumstances or do something about it.
But there's a feeling though when people have where they feel like they're repressing themselves internally, and
Depression.
once
That's
you
what it's
free them,
called.
well, no, more than just depression. Depression is sadness, right? I'm talking about somebody who just feels like they can't do what they want to do. They just
I
can't.
think that's depression.
No, not
They
depression.
can't escape.
For example, let's say somebody has always wanted to try stand-up comedy,
Mm-hmm.
but they just can't. They're like, no, I don't think I got what it takes. I'm scared.
That's a
They're
choice.
repressing. Yeah, but you're right. It's a choice, but they're repressing themselves.
Yeah.
They are,
I know what
jailing
you're saying.
themselves. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Well, once you do that thing, you're like, a new world.
Oh.
A whole new world. That's what
see
I
what you're
mean. You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like opening, I think a lot of us as people, bro, we jail ourselves. Like we are our worst prisons because there's things that we want to do,
Yeah.
right? Our passions, our dreams. We're jailing those dreams because of fear, of different circumstances. And once we open those jails and free ourselves, we're like, we take a deep breath and we're like, I'm out. I'm finally out. I'm at this.
Yeah.
Let's go. And that feeling is similar to that feeling that I'm describing. I felt.
I don't think, because I've never been persecuted or had anybody external forcing anything on me ever in my life, right? So, but just trying to be empathetic towards that, I don't think I can ever correlate my hardships, because probably almost all of my hardships are either self-imposed problems or self-imposed problems from my parents or family, right? And they've put this onto me or whatever. I don't think I can ever compare that to.
But problems are still problems.
They're
Because
not. They're not.
You're right and you're wrong in some ways, because for somebody, right? Like the electricity example, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know about that,
Right.
for you, that the level of pain that I felt not having electricity,
Yeah.
that level of pain for somebody might be not seeing their mother because their dad has a restraining order against her and they're going through a bad divorce.
That's not the same as not being able to do comedy though, because you're afraid.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's a real problem.
Yeah, that's
Because
what I'm
that
saying.
can even happen in Pakistan or
Right.
wherever.
Well, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're talking about problems like persecution, right? I'm saying that level of pain
Yeah.
that I experienced, somebody else might be feeling the same level of pain mentally
That's also
in a
external,
different
though.
problem, huh?
That's also external. I'm just using your
Yeah.
example. I
You're
know
saying
what you're
internal,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying the example you're saying, like if they're not able to see their father or mother because their mom and dad
There's
are
some
going through problems.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem.
Right.
That's a developmental problem. You will not develop the same
Absolutely.
if you don't have both parents in your life.
So
It's just not
there
going
are
to happen.
problems in
Yeah.
every country. Just different levels and layers. That's what I'm
I'm saying like the self-esteem, self-actualization levels
You're
versus
saying
foundation.
external versus internal. External is harder, you're saying.
I think that's external though, what you just said about the parents.
Yeah, so you think
Restraining
external
order.
problems are harder than internal, right?
It's not even hard. It's just it's not in the same field.
So
They're just not.
But you're saying it's harder, though, external.
It is.
That's
yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think it can be the same amount of pain, internal versus external.
You're right. It can be the same amount of pain, but it doesn't mean it's harder.
They can be as hard, in my opinion.
I don't think so, bro.
That's where we disagree. I think it
So
can
you
be.
think okay, let's just use the example, the comedy example versus like the persecution example. Being or let's just use public speaking. Number one fear in the world. You think that level of fear can be the same amount of fear of not being able to eat or being afraid that you might die because you can get persecuted?
Well, if I'm talking about internal, not just any internal problem. I'm talking about somebody whose dream as a kid is
Yeah.
becoming a stand-up comedian. That's all they think about. That is their life and their dream.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes, I'm equating that, not being able to do what you really love, to not being able to eat. I am equating those two things.
It's not harder though.
It can be as hard, just as painful.
Okay, how is it easier to overcome a fear or is it easier to overcome not being able to eat every day?
Some might say it's easier to overcome not being able to eat every day because it's a very basic need, right? You can go to a shelter. Even in Pakistan, right? You could go to some place, you can beg, you can ask for food, you'll get the food.
And what does that do to you, begging?
It obviously would hurt you. But I'm saying that's just one option. There's other options, right? You can work and you can find a job and you can eat. Versus the comedy thing, though. You've been wanting to do it as a kid.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. And it's killing you. But how do you free yourself from your inside? I think sometimes just freeing yourself from your own self is a very
Inspiration
big
though
obstacle.
can free you.
It can.
Inspiration can free you.
But it's hard to inspire
What
yourself.
do you tell a 10-year-old kid in the Congo who is mining for cobalt every single day, 16 hours a day? What do you tell him? Hey, brother, when you turn 16 and you're able to do something, this is what you do. What do you tell him? No education. All he does is mine with his hands. What do you tell them?
Yeah.
What do you tell him? Hey, brother, there's somebody in America who can't be a comedian because they're afraid to do so.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because hold on a second. So I'm saying to the Congolese person, the biggest struggle, right, is to get food.
Mm-hmm.
But to the American kid, the biggest struggle for him is to get stand up.
Yeah. Inside their heads,
Yeah.
the chemicals that are happening are
That's
the
what
same
I'm
chemicals.
saying.
True.
Like, I'm saying,
but it's not harder.
Internally, you're talking about objectively, right?
Mhm.
Subjectively, though, the level of pain and anxiety they're feeling might be the same.
Yeah.
It's just they're not
subjectively,
aware. But you're right. So that's why it's important
Yeah.
to read about the world, what's happening, and
Right.
realize the blessings you have so that you have the perspective to
Yeah.
recognize, what I'm going through, actually, a lot of people have a greater set of problems that's actually
Right.
harder to do.
And that frees you. Being able to accept that I don't.
That's a great point there.
Right?
Now.
It frees you when you realize that the hardships in your life aren't that hard. When you realize other people out there have it harder than you, because what it does is, I guess a set of problems I'm going through right now. Right, I'm trying to figure out how do I expand this warehouse space with the resources.
Mhm.
Right, when I realize, hey, I still have a successful business. I don't need to expand. It's a luxury. It's still a problem. It still gives me some heartache, some anxiety, some stress, right? But when I realize, hey, dude, you're still doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you didn't have the unfortunate luck of being born in the Congo or in Vietnam on a rice paddy farm. You don't have to work outside every day. You have a college degree. You have a nice girlfriend, a family who, is proud of you. That makes me feel free. Like it's not so hard to deal with that because I have all these other blessings.
That's beautiful. Right. So I think what we agree on is having that perspective
Yeah.
that can free you. Now, some people still might not be freed after learning
No,
that.
that's ignorance and
You think
arrogance.
that's ignorance?
Yeah.
It can be. It can also be arrogance, and
Yeah.
it can also be just a lack of self-esteem and belief. You can.
I think arrogance is a lack of self-esteem too, though, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
You think arrogance is a lack of self-esteem,
Yes.
or is it the opposite?
I think a lot of people would think it's the opposite, but to me, if you dig down deep, and somebody that always thinks they know what is right and what is going to be good for them, they don't know something inside, and so they want to pretend like they do, so they don't turn into that guy. But inherently, they just become that person who has low self-esteem and high arrogance. Does that make sense?
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
Does that make sense?
I'm not a psychologist.
No, what I just said, like
Yeah,
articulation-wise.
that makes sense.
Okay.
We can use it as a clip.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's good. I think that makes sense.
Because if it does, I want to rephrase it.
It does.
Okay.
I get what you're saying 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, and I also think it's not the only way, right? That people have low self-esteem.
But isn't that ignorance versus arrogance, what you just described? Because ignorance is knowing. I guess it's a combination.
It's a combination.
It's a combination.
Yeah, of
It's a
ignorance and
combination.
arrogance. Yeah, that's right.
It's a hybrid. Let's give it a word. Ignorance plus arrogance.
They literally have the same ending, so you
Yeah.
can't really combine it.
Iagro.
Okay.
Iagro. If you meet somebody that's both arrogant and ignorant or has a combination, call him Iagro. Iagro.
Ibrahim, you're an Iagro.
No, I'm not. I invented the word. I get to label people this now. Iagro.
Well, maybe you're ignorant to the word. Maybe there's an actual word out there.
Maybe we're just going now in a very deep spiral.
Maybe, buddy.
There's moments though when I work out and when I run especially.
Yeah.
There's this one moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there's this one moment in Japan.
Okay.
Mount Fuji. Right across from it.
Yes.
We go up.
Yes.
That is one of those moments where I was looking at Mount Fuji in the skyline. The moment I'm describing is we go across from Mount Fuji is a cafe, a beautiful cafe in a hill. You go on top of it, you ring a bell, and you can overlook the entire city.
Yes.
And Mount Fuji.
Mountain
I don't
View.
know. That feeling I had that day, the weather was beautiful. It was cold, but beautiful. I could see the sun. I could see the sky. I could see the clouds. You guys were down below waiting for me for the bus because I was taking my sweet time.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes. I opened them repeatedly. I did some breathing exercises, and I just yelled at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
Let's go. Or I
No.
just said, woo!
No, you didn't.
What did I say?
Japan 2024.
No, but that's the one we took the picture in the video. I said when you guys were down there, I was like, woo! I was
you were
saying
doing
this.
that for
Yeah,
about
like,
10 minutes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
doing that.
10 minutes.
It was so freeing, bro. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
That is one experience where I'm afraid I might not feel in that moment like I did because I truly appreciated life. I was grateful for everything.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew what I needed to do.
Okay, I have my travel experience and of that. I remember when me and Jenish were in Vietnam, we were in Sapa, and neither of us were eating seafood at the time. He now eats seafood. But we're in Sapa, and we went astray from the group, and we went to this burger place in Vietnam. Burger wasn't great, but for some reason, I don't know why I chose that place, but we chose that place. And there was a bar, basically, overlooking the mountain range. And Sapa, if you don't know Sapa, just Google SAPA, mountain range. And it is, in the pictures, it does not look anything like real life.
Doesn't do it justice.
It's gorgeous. It's probably the most beautiful mountain range you'll ever see if you look it on the photo.
Really?
But when we were there, the contrast between clouds and greenery and peaks and valleys, it was unreal. It was unreal. And I would just sat there looking, and I was like, I can't believe I'm 18 years old backpacking Vietnam right now with one of my best friends. This is insane. And like, just like you said, there's moments in life where you feel that rush, basically, right? That like you probably felt that rush through your body, and it was like, wow, you feel euphoric almost. And you close your eyes, and then you open them, and you're like, this is real life.
Yeah. As you were speaking, I thought about something.
Yeah.
I always tend to have an emotional reaction around nature
Mm.
and people I love. When I was thinking about this, they're all like God's creation. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Interesting.
they're all technically God's creation. Like I've never had a very emotional and heavy response where I like start to think of my existential presence
Mm.
when I look at a Lamborghini or when I look at
Fair.
a big fat mansion house.
Fair.
I'm like, whoa, amazing.
Yeah.
But I never feel like I never cry. Maybe somebody does, but not me.
You don't feel the goosebumps.
No. I guess you can in different ways, but I'm saying like that emotional rush where
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, like when something is truly beautiful.
I know what you mean.
I've only had that feeling when I look at scenery
Yeah.
or when I look at a person I love and I'm like, wow. Like I start getting emotional, I cry,
Yeah.
That's
fair, man.
that's the only two things, humans and nature.
For
Or
you. Yeah.
For me, where I truly, well, you said you as well, right?
Yeah.
Where you,
No, I mean, I don't think that's the only things though, but yeah.
what else? What
That's God creation?
No, what human made thing?
No, I don't
That's
think
what
there's
I'm
any
saying,
human
yeah.
made. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
that's
I don't
what I'm
think there's any
saying.
human-made
That's
thing.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. My whole point
Yeah,
is
yeah.
only God's creation can
Yeah.
truly give you that sense of
That's true.
appreciation that no human made thing
Yeah.
can. Oh my God, bro! I'm gonna use that as an argument when I'm debating somebody who
No, it's a good.
doesn't believe in God. Yeah.
That's a good point, man. That's a really good point. I think there's been moments in my life where, not moments, but like times in my life, because I just didn't have this perspective I have now, where I thought like maybe money will do this for me, or like the car will do this for me, and not I'm not saying I'm anywhere near where some of these guys are at, but like some of it will make me feel a certain way, and it really doesn't. It gives some confidence for sure. When there's money in your bank account, I think you can attest, you feel better about yourself, right? You feel more confident, like you have more opportunities, but nothing like that rush. Like I never gotten goosebumps. Like I didn't get goosebumps when I got my Beamer, right? Like I felt proud of myself. I felt proud of myself when I was able to do this, but nothing like this is real life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On that note,
Yeah.
shall we end this podcast?
Thank you, buddy.
I think it was a short but good conversation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Until next time.
Beautiful.